All right, all right, all right. Hello, hello, hello. It is the Melanated Air Hour. For the next hour, we get to hang out with you and you get to hang out with us as we talk things that are Black, melanin. I don't do this by myself. I do this with 3 to 4 other women. Today we have 2 other women. We have Keisha Ravenel at We Inspire Brand. We have Teddy Ewing at The Real Teddy Talks. Teddy, are you in Egypt right now?
I am. I'm actually in Alexandria, Egypt instead of Cairo. So I'm
Okay.
traveling,
Oh,
Teddy.
so
But I'm
Teddy's
still here.
traveling, but she's still in the motherland. I am Lene Javette, and this is the Melanated Air Hour. Please, as you are chiming in and tuning in, drop a link. What's up, Nathaniel B1 fam? We see you. Let us know that you are here. Say hi to us, comment, share, thumbs up, like, introduce yourself, tell us where you're tuning in from. Today we're talking about Harlem. It is a new show that's on Amazon Prime. If you have not seen it, spoiler alert. If you have seen it, please chime in. This is going to be a good conversation. So, the show is about 4 Black women. It takes place in Harlem today. One of the women is a rising star. She's a professional struggling to make space for her love life. Another one is a savvy tech entrepreneur, always dating someone new. Another one is a no filter singer. And then the other one is a hopeless romantic fashion designer. So 4 Black women in Harlem. The title of this live is this your Harlem? The Harlem that we know today, or is this a Black version of Sex in the City? So before we deep dive into it, please in the comments, please tell us, have you seen Harlem? Have you actually seen it? And then give us your thoughts. But before I go to the comments, Keisha is the one who brought this to us. So Keisha, give us your thoughts. I know you did a live on your YouTube page about Harlem.
Yes, I had to. I had to because I'm everything Black mental health, Black relationships, and starting a t-shirt business. So like Harlem, it incorporated everything into this show except for the t-shirt business part. But it spoke about Black mental health. It spoke about Black relationships or Black messy relationships, but Black relationships nonetheless. And that was my biggest issue with the show, that I didn't see any Black healthy relationships from none of the main characters. I know that someone on my YouTube channel, like they commented on my video and they were like, oh, well, Ian's parents, they were Black and, they had longevity and they left the legacy and they, left their brownstone to their son or whatever the case is. And that's fine. But that was maybe one episode. And when I look at shows, like I want to see Black love portrayed. I'm tired of seeing Black women, oh, you have to choose your career or love. You have to choose one or the other. And I don't think that's the case. I feel that you can have it all, but we don't really see that, right? And I didn't compare it to Sex and the City at first. I actually compared it to Girlfriends. So like if you guys watch the show Girlfriends, and that's like one of my favorite shows, yeah, like I feel like in Girlfriends, they portrayed every aspect. So they had the Black woman that was married with a Black child. They had the career women that were looking for love. Like they had, they had different types of Black women. And in this show, it's just like, oh, all of these Black women, they're like struggling in relationships. And I'm like, that's not representative of me or my friends, So I have a lot more to say about it, but, we'll get into it.
All right.
I want to say, Keisha, that the writer of Girlfriends was the writer of the show. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Which is still odd because it was such an extreme, like you said, Girlfriends, who was directed by Kelsey Grammer. Y'all know Kelsey Grammer from Frasier.
Right.
Was very balanced and it was lovable. And it was done so well, it's hard to imagine that a white male was like the magic, behind it. The writer, of course, is magic, but the person that makes it come together on the screen is honestly, to me, it's one of the main ingredients in a good show. So Girlfriends is great. And then to see this one, so like, it just felt very one-sided. And for it to be the same person behind it, that was odd to me. That was
right.
That was odd.
Was Kelsey Grammer, was he director or just executive producer?
I'm Googling it right now because I don't want
Okay,
to lie.
yeah, 'cause
Somebody
I thought
eat
it was
me up in
executive
the comments.
producer. I thought Maury Brock, whatever her name is, Maury Brock was the director, the black
Mara
girl.
Broca Keel, right?
Yeah, I thought she was the director of Girls Friends, but I know for sure Grammer was the executive producer. But
Yes,
I like
executive producer. You're right.
executive producer. Okay, not
Yeah.
director.
No.
Okay.
No.
What were your thoughts? So what were your thoughts on initial thoughts when you saw Harlem?
So when I saw it, and I'm a movie watcher. Like I love TV shows. I love movies. I just felt agenda. Like, and I know y'all, I overuse that word from the beginning. Like I
Yeah.
just I didn't see anyone on that screen that made me feel like I wanted to be like them. Now, granted, I'm a little older. I'm not in my late 20s, early 30s, like some of these young ladies probably are portraying. I'm 41, but I remember watching Sex in the City when I was in my early 20s. And not that I wanted to be like any of them white women, but I could see myself being a black version of some of them living in
Mhm.
a big city, finding myself, finding love, finding my sexual place in this world, right? And on this show, because I'm older and wiser, maybe, but I just felt I didn't want to be like them. I just looked at all the bad habits and I didn't see the good. Like even the scene where the one singer was staying at a girlfriend's house on the couch, not kind of in a bad place. They kind of gave us the backstory to that later on in the season, right? So like
Mhm.
the second to last episode, you got to see why she ended up there. But you see your girlfriend struggling financially and you running up more bills. Like things like that to me is like, that's not friendship. Who would do that? Like I need you and you causing me more bills. Like that's not friendship at all. And then the whole love, just like Keisha said, where was the healthy relationships? Even when they showed Ian's parents giving them the brownstones, the them in the scene was a black male and a non-black woman.
Exactly.
So you're back to that again. It's like there
Exactly.
is so much agenda. And really, the red flag was a lot of the social media news type places, The Root, a lot of entertainment news, a lot of white entertainment channels are like, oh, you're going to love Harlem. You're going to love it. Anytime the white folks are telling you what you're going to love as a black person, you better read it, write it, and take note because it's
That's
probably not what you should be loving. So
right.
that's my intro to Harlem.
Okay. I remember when you first posted about it in the back chat. You were like, I have to stop expecting these Hollywood shows to be representative of black people, of black women. And so that was what I first saw before I even watched the series, right? And so the first season one, the first one was a little bit hard to get into. I was like, okay, maybe it's gonna pick up. Then I watched two, and then by three, I'm like, okay, it's picked up a little bit, and then we keep watching. So I watched it to the end. It took me like a week or so to watch it, and I'm watching it, and I'm like, the writing is on the wall. You can see how all this stuff is gonna play out. You see where everything is going. Um, you could I didn't see myself in any of these women, but I saw some of my girlfriends like, oh, that's such and such, oh, that's such
Mhm.
and such, oh,
Mhm.
that is such and such. Um, and I feel like everything, there's a market for everything. Like as
Yes.
entrepreneurs, as business owners, we know that there is a market for everything. Everybody has a market. And to your point, Teddy, I think that we've just passed this point in our life. But I think that for women that are in their early 30s, I think it's probably on point. You're dating the same kind of man over and over again. I think it was Quinn. She literally just kept dating the same dude over and over again. She kept getting catfish, kept getting played, looking for love in all the wrong reasons, looking for love in all the wrong places and for all the wrong reasons. And there are real women that are doing that today.
Yeah.
Um, Angie, that homegirl that's still living off of her high school dreams. She want to be a rapper. She want to be a singer. She want to be in the movies, and she's sleeping on everybody's couch. Like that's legit and real. Like
Yeah.
that's really happening.
But then, Nate, do
Um,
you think that? And I guess for me, because I'm in my early 30s, I'm 32. Do you
mhm.
think that's early 30s? I would say that would be like 20s. You think
You
early
would you
30s?
would like to you would like to hope.
Please,
You would like to hope. Yes. Oh, who just said it? Deshaun Farad. Yes, it definitely gave me
Mm,
sisters vibes.
I
I
don't
Mm.
can
think so.
literally place each one. It definitely gave me sisters vibes. I was getting to that. It reminded me of Sisters Today. There's that show that Tyler Perry had, and I got through season 1, a little bit of season 2, and I couldn't watch it anymore. But it definitely had the Sisters vibe, but a more hip New York version of Sisters. That's exactly what it gave me vibes of.
And to that point, Lene, as I was saying, it's like I really, because I'm a movie watcher and I don't do a lot of comparing. So even though that our title is talking about Sex and the City, I really want to take it on its own value. And I want to find entertainment in it. So I was entertained. It wasn't like I got to the second or third episode and was like, I can't even finish it. And I've done that with seasons, different television series. So I watch it all the way through because I'm rooting for the characters. I'm rooting for the director, the writer, all the people behind it because I want to like it, right? So I want to find the things I enjoy about it. I want to laugh. But as far as like the taste that I felt when it was all said and done, I just wasn't in love with it. If it comes out on a second season, will I watch it to see if they've done better? They've taken some of this advice and done better with it? I will. I'll give it an opportunity. But if I see more of the same, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I think
they use this season to give the backstory. Like maybe this is like the opening season to give the backstory, and then season 2 they're gonna make it all right.
Yeah, that's what one of my commenters said, because I went in regards to it not having like that Black relationship aspect, that Black marriage aspect, because I feel that needs representation. And they were like, well, you need to give time for character development. And I was like, well, that gives the indication that marriage is the end, right? Like, and marriage is not the end. Marriage could very well be the beginning. Like representation of marriage, like there are plenty of Black married women that still have their own struggles that need to be addressed, on the big screen. So you can have a Black married woman that maybe she suffers from fibroids and she's having a hard time getting pregnant, right? Or you could have the Black married woman that, maybe, I don't know, like married people issue, like there are so many different directions and stories that you could go with. It doesn't have to be everyone needs to be single. And
now let me ask you, Keisha, if because we're so B1, right? We're so kind of entrenched in this Black experience. Can there be Black television and Black movies that are put out to the world without any purpose other than to entertain? Does it have to capture true Black experience for us to enjoy and to watch it? Is that their responsibility as the writers and the directors? Because I think that's what we put on them. That's what we want to see. But is that necessary? And let us know in the comments, like, do you feel like in a Black production that is necessary to represent us, what's the word, like truly, right? Or can there be entertainment only and we judge it upon, did it make me laugh or cry or happy or sad,
I love that you asked that, Teddy, because I was going to say, had I watched this like in my early 20s or as a teen, I would have absolutely loved it. And I probably would have argued with anyone that would have said like, oh, this, like, I would have, no, that's a great show. But knowing what I know now, is just kind of like, I feel that every Black person has a responsibility to uplift their community. So I don't care if you're in entertainment, in entrepreneurship, if you work in a 9-to-5, like whatever you're doing, like I feel, and this is just my opinion, right? Like I'm not saying that people are going to do it or people should do it. But to me, I feel that we can't complain about progress if we're all not in the trenches, if we're all not carrying our weight.
Right.
I think to your point, Teddy. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Keisha.
I was just going to say, but I do think that it was entertaining, even though I feel like there was an agenda. And I probably will still watch season 2 because it was very entertaining.
Yeah.
You know what, Teddy, you bring up a great point because it's a catch-22, right? We have your basketball wives and all your reality TV that's not real. Then we have entertainment, right? And somewhere in the middle is the truth or the reality of our lives and how we live and what we live. A lot of times you hear people say the truth doesn't sell, right? Ratchet sells, entertainment sells, but does the truth sell? And so we take versions of the truth and we entertain it up, right? We either ratchet it up or we're going to make it funny and entertain it up. So I think the not a better question, but another question would be, with the truth sell? Would the truth sell? If we put up our truth, would it sell? That's one question I would think we should ask and answer. But then the second piece of that question is to answer your question, we need to see more truth. Ratchet and entertainment shouldn't be the only two options or ways that we get to see ourselves on television. There has to be, where are the Family Matters and the Bill Cosby's, I'm sorry, the Huxtables? We gotta be, which one, who we want to see, right? Where are the different worlds and the Martins and the shows that used to bring controversial issues to the forefront, but also showed us in a dope manner? I was watching something the other day. It was a Different World reunion or something, and they were talking about how HBCU admissions were up like something like 30 to 60% during that era. That's when HBCUs was cool and everybody wanted to go. Where is that content today? We only get entertainment and ratchet. We don't even get truth. We don't even get Black empowerment unless it's self-produced, underground, privately put together and put out into the world. But it's not an ABC or Fox or CBS or NBC like it used to be. We get this kind of stuff.
Exactly.
And that's the gatekeepers. That's the rich, white, Jewish, white people that are gatekeeping what gets let out to the world. Now you ask, I forget your exact question, but it's a truth entertaining or something to that effect. And the answer is hell yes. You know why? Because culturally, we are dominant. When you get into an elevator, I don't care where you are, what music do you hear as the musical background? It's going to be something Black from the 60s, 70s, 80s, right? It's going to be some Michael Jackson, Stevie Wonder, Lionel Richie. It's going to be something you can tap your foot to. When you think about if you're in a store and they're playing music, it's Black music. When you think about catchy words and phrases people want to use when they're cool, it's our culture. When they're wearing styles and clothes in general, when it comes to like trying to pull somebody into something, it's our clothing, it's our style, it's our words, it's our look, it's our everything. So they like to co-opt it, but they don't want us to. They want to make us feel bad for it, just like, you know, back in the early 1900s into the mid 1900s with our hair, the hair wraps, our waist, our lips. I mean, in the 80s, I used to get made fun of for how full my lips were because I went to a dominantly white school. And then look at these folks now with pumping stuff all in their lips and their face, trying to get what we have. They were getting perms in the 80s. They weren't getting that curly hair because they wanted curly hair. They were trying to be more like us. They're like, we're so voluptuous, we're so big, we're so lively. So we are entertaining. I think we're the only ones that don't believe it. Like our stories, like Keisha said, fibroids, that's like real. I had that problem. So telling that real story that most of I would say at least half of my girlfriends have had fibroids, all from different walks of life, all from different ages, everything. So that's a story that we can tell and everyone can relate to it. But the gatekeepers are not letting us tell that story.
Right.
And as we've said multiple times on here, we have to be able to tell our story without going through the gatekeepers because they're not going to let it through, right? In order to be in their world, we have to say what they want us to say. And then we're happy when we get the Emmy or the whatever in their world. We need our own stuff, right? We need our own stuff.
Yep.
Hey, Madam President.
Hey. I love this. I got to get my I Am Enough gear. I'm loving it. I see.
This is my cutoff, y'all.
Oh, yes. Y'all look good. Come through.
Let me tell you though, whenever I wear my Mixed with Melanin and God, people love it. I get white folks all the time. I had this guy in Sprouts be like, do people with not alopecia, how do albinos feel when you wear that sweatshirt? I said, I don't know, but we're all mixed with God, so hopefully they feel good about it.
Right.
I don't know how they feel.
That's
funny. So have you seen Harlem, Madam President?
Oh my God, have I seen it? Oh, I've been.
What are your thoughts?
Yes. So to be honest with you, I saw it and I worked the creator of the show. I worked with on First Wives Club. I did First Wives Club season 2. So basically, my thoughts on Harlem is beautiful show, well shot. However, here's my critical thought. The hyper educated, hyper achieved Black woman is all through TV. And it makes me feel like this is the selling point where we're all educated and we all got companies and and it's okay to highlight that positive feature. But I think that there are so many multitudes of us, whereas you have some of us who do not have an education. You have some of us who are locked up in prison. And I just really wish we could see a more diversified view of Black women. There are some Black women who grew up in spaces that are not pro-Black. And I just really feel like, as a creative myself, as a writer and a creative, I kind of dissected them and said, I'm feeling this. I see this a lot. I see this imagery of the strong Black woman navigating relationships a lot, right? And she's always doing well. And I know they got the one girl who's pretty much the in-between. But I think what we're kind of in a real space, a reality space, you have a lot of Black women that's working every single day, a regular job, right? That they do not love. But guess what? They ain't got no mama and daddy to give them no money. They are literally out there trying to figure out how to make ends meet. And I think we haven't found a way to showcase that on TV in a very that's in a way that's not depressing. So sometimes, like, think about Martin and Gina. Martin and Gina was not a rich couple, but it was a fun time when you saw them. They did not discuss, and they had the average household conversation about money. Oh, Martin, I know you ain't getting a pair of Jordans. You know, that's a $200 shoe. You know, so now you got, like, everybody is just extravagant. And it's not, I feel like the reality is we're straying away from that a lot of times when I see the hyper educated Black women series on TV. But I actually didn't think about that.
Looking at it, I feel like looking at it, if I was younger, I would feel like there's no hope, right? Looking at season 1, like, oh, there's no hope for me to have that love and have that career. So I have to choose one or the other. Like, that's what I would feel if I was younger watching this. I also wanted to ask you ladies about the promotion aspect of it. So Camille, in the beginning, she was going for the promotion and her white boss was going to give her a promotion. The white boss got, I think, fired or laid off or something like that. And then Whoopi Goldberg's character came in, and then Whoopi Goldberg didn't give her the promotion. So do y'all think that had like a white savior aspect to it? Like, oh, if you're working for the white woman, or, you know, you're working under a white woman, person, they can pull you up, but don't work under that Black person because they're going to give you a hard time. Like, did y'all see it as that, or did y'all see it as something else?
I'm glad you brought that one up, Keisha, because so these are points that I enjoyed about the movie or the TV show. I'm glad they did that, because what I saw was, you know how as Black people, we carry the weight of the Black community on us. So when somebody did something on the news in the 90s, 2000, 2010, I don't know what they're called, you'd be like, please don't let it be a Black man. Don't let it be a Black man. Don't let him be Black. Because we didn't want it to reflect badly on us. And that is what the Whoopi character was doing. She's like, she felt the weight, like she's responsible personally for ensuring that this person's tenure, that this girl's tenure is flawless. And that is not her job. Her job is to say, can she do this job? I'm going to give her a chance. But she felt personally responsible. And she felt that because she struggled, oh, girl need to struggle too, is what I felt. So, and I think that does happen in the Black community. I think the Black people that have made it, not everyone now, this ain't everybody, but they do want to make you work as hard. They want to make you suffer when they don't realize in these white environments, they are pulling up people that aren't even qualified. And ain't nobody asking questions. Ain't nobody checking resumes. They're just vouching for them. And if it don't work out, it just don't work out. There's no like punishment for it. So that is what the white savior was doing. She wasn't going deep like that. She's like, you're good. I like you. You'll be fine. But then Whoopi was like, no, I'm responsible for this whole thing. And it's all my name. And I got to put you to the front. And I think that's a real issue. So that's why I like this. I definitely
What
like
she
the
could have done was
progression.
mentored her. She could have said, "Sis, you're not prepared right now, but let me tell you what you can do." She named off all the things she didn't have, but she didn't say, "This is what you can do to do better," or "This is what you
Exactly.
can do to fill those in," or "Let me show you what I did," or "Let me show you how I did it." To your point, Teddy, it was very. You have to go through the same struggles I went through instead of let me help you not have to go through the same struggles I went through and give you a hand up, not a hand up, but some mentorship, some guidance of what you can do better. So there was that opportunity to show some synergy, some sisterhood in that, and they missed it. They didn't catch that. Go ahead, man.
So now we're fighting. We're against each other, right?
Oh my God. First of all, Keisha, I'm so glad that you brought this part up. And Teddy, like y'all knowing it. This part right here was speaking to my spirit. Okay. I was like, OMG, this is speaking to my spirit. And let me tell you why. As a person who like always talking about like corporate trauma and what Black women have to endure in the workplace, I'm always kind of fascinated in the workspace environment and what it does to us psychologically, emotionally, etc. And then to see this, a lot of times what I believe is it is like white supremacy is so heavy that you're either submitting to it or rebelling against it, right? And a lot of times that even when people look at you, they don't even want to see the best in you, even if you're like top notch. I can't even see the best in you because white supremacy have already played such a big role on my outlook on Blackness that I can't even see the best in you. And I'm gonna tell you something from a personal experience. When I was working, getting started in the in the TV and film industry, there was a white woman who liked me. I was a production assistant. She said, Chanel, I like you. I want to move you up. She went to a Black woman who was both of our supervisors at the time. And she says, hey, I want to give Chanel the position for, the travel position. And the Black woman told her, Chanel has not, she said, Chanel, she hasn't worked. She said she hasn't earned her stripes or something like that. It was something that
proven herself, basically.
The white woman was like, I don't know what that means. The white woman came back to me, was like, I don't know what that means, what she said. And it was kind of like one of those things that pretty much people feel like Black people had to endure some kind of suffering to receive something. And I felt like, why does it, because you see me right here, that doesn't mean that I have not had my suffering. You don't know my life. I'm here to do a job, and that's why another thing that kind of removes us from a lot of removes us a lot of times professionally, because sometimes we do be into like how we feel about a person, how we feel about a thing, opposed to this person good, they good, boom, bring them up. But the thing about white is it's kind of like, oh, okay, yeah, he can do the job. I've met white men producers that were like, oh yeah, I used to be in construction, and I met this guy. He told me I got a movie, and now I'm a producer. I've been doing it 25 years. I didn't know it.
There you go. Yeah. There you go.
Let me tell you something. They gift each other opportunity. They give each other opportunity.
Yeah.
This is a constant behavior of theirs, because as white folk do what white folks do, which means this is my world. It runs the way that I want it to. I don't have to answer to anybody about it. I'm hiring who I want to hire. We are the only people that hold one another to this unrealistic expectation when it comes to workplace environment. I was just like, wow, this is crazy. So many black people, men and women, have this common experience. When they go into the workplace, people who look just like them give them the hardest time.
The hardest time.
The black women I've worked under have given me the hardest time. The hardest time. But I also understand too, I understand white supremacy. I understand the concept of knowing thyself. So I already know that, like, oh shit, the hardest part is when black people uphold white supremacy. How did Emmett Till get killed? Emmett Till got killed because a white woman said something. A white woman said so. The one thing about being a white woman, their word is enough. they word hold more weight than anything else. Unlike us, we still be trying to, you got to prove yourself. Why?
Mm-hmm. And that's why we continue to be where we are, because white people, nepotism is real in the white community, right? In the Black community, it's like, oh no, we can't give you the job because you my cousin now. You got to work for. But in the white community, it's like, come on, brother,
I'm going to give you a job because you're my cousin.
Exactly.
Because, and I'm going to make sure that you have what it takes. But if it don't work out, it just didn't work out. Bob ain't doing the job. Bob got to go. Bob goes. Ain't nobody holding his generation's chattel slavery responsible for Bob fucking up on the job. Like, nobody's doing that. But we feel so responsible. Like, if you mess up and I brought you in, then they'll never hire another Black person for 10 years. Bull. That's bull. Okay? They want diversity. They got to meet their marks. It'll happen again. And help that person be who they need to be and reach those goals. Exactly. And there's too many of us that are talented that can't fill these damn roles. Like, don't get nobody that's a damn, like a, who ain't doing their thing. There's plenty of people who meet the requirements. In the television show, she met the requirements. She could have been tenured. She would have been fine. All Whoopi had to do was take her under her wing and say, I'm going to need you to do these 5 things. So you and me are going to be meeting every morning to discuss how you're going to make this work. But she could have still gave her the position.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Another highlight for me of the show was Camille. She kept missing her therapy appointments because of work. So I know I am a mental health advocate, and I'm just like, look at this. She missing all of her therapy appointments, and she couldn't even get the promotion. So now she still don't have no benefits. I think the promotion came with like benefits and a raise, and Lord knows, living in New York, I am a New Yorker. It is hard out here for a pimp. Like, it's hard. We need benefits and money. Like, it's crazy, especially living in Harlem. So yeah, like, she kept missing those therapy appointments. And I'm like, look at that. You're not putting yourself first. You put in this job first. And now the job can't even put you first. Right? So it's just like, you have to put yourself first. You have to. And I'm not saying like, oh, well, don't go to work and go to therapy, but schedule your therapy appointments around a time where, you're not working. Or I think there was a time where she had a therapy appointment and her boss asked her to have a meeting. Say, no, I can't meet at this time. It is okay to say no to these jobs. Say no to your supervisors. Like, no, I have something. I have something that I need to do. Can we schedule it for another time? But you so busy, chasing this job that don't care nothing about you, that now, you're not right with your therapy. You're not right mentally. So that was another highlight.
And then she gets in a good relationship. It appears to be a good relationship. And she don't even give it a full chance. She out here lying, sneaking, doing all kind of stuff. Like, is this not the man you prayed for? Like, did you ask for this? You get it. And you don't even know what to do with it. You start lying, sneaking, cheating. The brother had a key to her apartment. I was like, I told my husband, I was like, she gave him a key? And she's still lying? Why? Who does that? Like, why?
One foot in, one foot out. Yeah, one foot in, one foot out.
And they're giving people a license to think that they can do that. You cannot give someone a key to your apartment to come and go and be lying. It ain't gonna work out. All right. Go ahead, Madam President.
No, I was just gonna say, I think there she is familiarity. You go into what you know. And I feel like a lot of time that unknown is scarier than what you know to be certain. So I feel like that's what it is. I'm so interested in see how that outcome is, but
that's why so many Black women are in bad relationships today, staying with what's familiar to them instead of going out for what they deserve and what they should have. So let's flip it to Quinn, was looking for love all over the place. Dating apps, getting catfished. Somebody stole her TV apparently, and then she ended up with the stripper dude who had a kid.
Doing it right. He was doing
it right. So one of the things that I talk to women about often, and I feel like I can talk about it because I'm an overachiever, I'm successful, and I'm single. And I talk to Black women often, strong Black women, about being single and who you date. This might get a little touchy. I apologize.
Come on, touch us.
sometimes it's difficult to meet a brother on the same level as you when you get to a certain level. I will even add that I've had people come to me currently and say, your dating pool is going to get that much smaller now that you're getting this PhD because you're going to be a doctor. You're really not going to find anybody to date. Right?
Now, wait. Let's clarify level. You talking about financial level, emotional level, educational level? What do these brothers got to fit into the box of?
Are we talking about me? Or are we talking about society? So when we're talking, let's talk. Society says that a woman who has achieved some level of success, oftentimes they're talking of financial.
Okay.
Normally they're talking financial success, and a lot of times if we're just talking here, financial success usually has some correlation to educational success also.
Okay. All right, usually, go ahead. Right? So I want to clarify. So
yeah.
Nobody feels hurt.
Yeah, and I threw myself in just to give validity to the conversation of as you excel in your profession, your career, your finance, your education, sometimes dating pool can get smaller. So Quinn, for the sake of keeping on track of here, she is a quote unquote successful fashion designer. She comes from money. And so she's was looking to date kind of on her level. And she had a firm rule on not dating men with children. And she ended up with a stripper. And he had a kid. He was the one that treated her right, cared, showed up, acted right, did what was right. What kind of message do you think that sends to Black women? Does that say, get off your pedestal, stop dating so high, rip up your list, settle for what's out there? Your man might be a stripper. Like what? Because we've been talking about agenda, right? What things portray, and there's a very serious conversation going on with Black women or successful Black women, and the fact that their dating pool is small. So when you see a movie or a show like Harlem, and she ends up finding love with a dude that's a stripper, and I think he lived with his mom, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
What kind of agenda is that? What does that say? What did you guys think about that?
I hope it says, be with who treats you the best. Be with who's the best for you, and not calculating in income, education. Because he was a worker, he was a hard worker. He went to work, and I think as I raised my own personal educational levels, that's one thing I always cared about. I'm like, is he shiftless? I hated a shiftless man, like who wouldn't get up, go to work, didn't know he had responsibilities, didn't know he had bills. So I wasn't in the criteria of it has to be this job, because keeping it real, plumbers make more than a lot of these execs in some of these accountant positions and stuff. You know, construction workers, they be blowing up. Electricians, they get paid. So I never put it in a career criteria. I just want to know this person is capable of working hard, so that if we ever hit a bad patch, they might need to be able to do something, get a second job, work harder, work more hours. And then who treats you well, who makes you feel good. Like, you know, I just want to feel good and I want to be treated right. So that's what I hope it sends a message to.
I was going to say something similar, Teddy. We need to look at the men that does make us feel good. And if he hits every single thing on the list, then great, you know, but how does he make you feel? Do you guys have the same values? Right. So a lot of the time, like, we're making these lists, but like, we're not incorporating what we want in regards to building. So if we have the same values, he's treating you with love and respect and affection and everything that you want, and making you feel like a woman, right? Allowing you to rest in your feminine around him. Like, I know we have a lot of bosses, a lot of alpha females in the field, but in your home, like, you should be allowed to feel like a woman, you know, and rest in your feminine. So if he is making you feel that way, then I feel that speaks volumes. So I wouldn't say, rip up the list, right? Because you may find that maybe your list is your values, right? And, you know, it's, he has to make me feel this way. So maybe that's on your list. There was something mentioned at the All Black National Convention, and I don't remember who said it. It was on the Black Love panel. And he said, if they could give you that 70% of what you want and need, you could work on the other 30. So that, I don't know, it was something like that stuck out to me. I'm
80-20, like, it's the 80-20 rule and everything.
It is.
80-20 rule, you know? So it's like, with this guy, he was making her feel good. They were connected. That connection is very important. So don't
He
just
got her a job. He got her
got
a
a job.
lucrative job.
Exactly.
Lucrative.
Oh, that's right. He was out there. He got her that $25,000
Yep.
wedding dress.
Which is something else I wanted to talk to y'all
Well,
about.
I want to say something about this
relationship.
I want to say something about like the whole relationship context when it comes to Black women. I think the issue or what happens with Black women is that we don't have generational planning.
Mm-hmm.
So everything is from an emotional context with us. You know, it's always about how I feel. How I feel. I just feel like I don't give a damn. Can we build this house? You know, can we get this together? Can we make $2.5 million next year? Let me hear you read out loud. Let's start there. What's your idea?
Yeah.
I feel like we gotta go in hard because I feel like the 70-30 is really what's gonna save us now. Because we got a lot of people that straying more and more away from reality, and our feelings are failing us, right? I was in love with my ex. I felt good. When she left, my ex had my stuff in the storage. I was like, oh no, I am not going on feelings no more. It's not about to happen. I need to know what is the constructive plan that you have for your life, that I have for my life, and how can we collectively make this happen? And if that becomes a goal, and I feel like if that can be accomplished, like you said, Keisha, I feel like the other stuff is workable. But I feel like this is how the Asian community approach each other. This is how the Latina community approach each other.
Yeah.
White people, when you see them folks on IHGTV, that white man be building them houses, that white woman, she be decorating because they come together. I met my professor when I was in college. I said, tell me this, how did you meet your wife? He said, I wanted some babies and she made good biscuits, baby. And we had good biscuits. We've been together 40 years.
You know,
they drunk. They kids went to college and graduated. They healthy. We can do this. We gotta stop playing.
You know,
let me go here and find me a biscuit recipe.
The team aspect is important. And you're right. You're definitely right, Madam President. I don't mean feelings as in just feelings. I just mean if you have goals or you have a hard day, one of the comments said, we're fighting the world out in the world. Then we come home, I don't want to fight at home. So that's what I mean by feel good. Like you have the balance, you know, the bills are taken care of. You are headed somewhere. Goals are being put out there and being met. Action plans, strategies, building. You're talking about family and spirituality and growth. You know what I mean? That's what I mean by feel good. I don't mean just they can get me off. You know, I don't mean that. I mean like we got the whole 80% pictures and we can work on the parts that ain't gonna mesh. You know?
Because the man that works and has stability and wants to build, that makes me feel good. You know,
it makes me feel good. You feel safe. You feel secure.
Exactly. And going back to what you said, Madam President, one of my very good friends, he's older, but he used to tell me, you know, other communities, they date from the neck up and the Black community dates from the neck down. So it's like they're looking at the body and like, oh yeah, I could get this. And then other communities, it's like, what's in here? You know, and I don't know if that's true, right? But what you were saying, it just reminded me of that because it's like, all right, what's up here? How are we going to come together and build that generational wealth?
Okay, can I say something really quickly? Because I know Lene about to take us somewhere else. But I just want to say, she had it in her eyebrows and everything. Like, she got to...
She got to reset the room, all right?
I just want to say, take a look at Serena Williams, okay? And I'm using this because Serena Williams is like, when Black men was talking about Serena, they was talking about, oh, she muscular. Oh, they was talking about her physical, right? When that white, mind you, sister girl got over 20-some Grand Slams, one of the highest paid athletes in the world. Mama got it going on, right? However, when Black men was critiquing her, criticizing her, and even some Black women, they start talking about her physical appearance. They start talking about her hair, all these things that don't matter. Mind you, sister girl has been in her path, in her expertise for a long time. Not to mention she speaks probably 3 to 4 languages. This is somebody who could, she just up there intellectually, right? Even if she may not be as sociable. Some people are just socially, they know how to make you feel good around them. They talk that talk. But some people, they know that math and science like something else, right? Mind you, when she was dating the Drakes and the other black men, they just, hopping in bars and coming, ain't nothing going on. When she got with that white man, oh, you it for me. I don't give a damn how big your muscles are. I want a woman who is intelligent, who's rich. Not to mention, I'm rich too. That's what I'm rich. I don't need you for your money. I want children. You want children? These men ready. White men come ready. Black men, and I'm not critiquing or criticizing my brother because I love them. Let me say it again. I'm not critiquing or criticizing my brother because I love them. But I know that my close friends, what they deal with on the emotional level with black men is, I'm not ready. I don't know. I'm not sure. And that's the enemy. Know thyself. Because when you know that you're a king, oh, baby, I'm ready. I'm ready. When you know that you're a king, when you know that you're a king and people going to fall to their feet for who you are because of what God created you to be, you ain't gotta be unsure, uncertain. You ain't gotta hit the blunt. You ain't need no Hennessy to confirm what God has for you. I'm done, Lene.
Yeah.
And that right there, that right there is why you can't date off of feelings alone, right? Like, oh, like he gets me off, or like, oh, he's so cute. Like, you can't do that, right? But when he's coming with that king energy and he's making you feel good, like, man, listen.
Yeah.
She said, and he's making you feel good. Okay. So, I'm looking at my list of stuff. So we talked about Camille, who was the professor. We talked about the high achievement. We talked about her going for the job. We talked about her love situation. We talked about Quinn, which is the designer. She was looking in love for all the wrong places. And I think that was like the depth of her story. She was poor. She had the struggle. Oh, they present her as the struggling entrepreneur. I like what Madam President said. Everybody can't go to their mama and ask for some money in their business. So that wasn't the true depiction of entrepreneurship, because sometimes you got to bootstrap. You got to struggle. She should have been out there stripping with her boyfriend, but that's a whole nother conversation. You can't always go to your parents and ask them for that $2,500. You got to come up with some other resolutions. But I'm gonna leave that alone. Let's talk about we haven't really talked about Ty that much.
Ty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So,
well, I would say the show was about her mostly, is what I feel like.
You think so?
Her life. I won't say that. I would say sexually. Okay, let me just put it out there. Sexually, I saw more of her than any of the other 3 women combined.
Yeah.
And that's when I be feeling the gender, right? It's like from the first, I think it was the first, I don't think I saw Black's love scene, or like a love making scene, until the 3rd episode. But I think Ty hit me with the first one and the 2nd episode. Yeah. And then when they had the nerve to show the heterosexual couple, he's showing his booty hole. I'm like, well, hello. Is this what we doing? That was too much. And it's like, how you sending D Prince in a DM? He's sending pictures of his thing and pressing on it, but then you want somebody in your booty hole. That don't like, then you would have been sending booty hole pics, wouldn't you? But I don't know. I'm not young.
The rating was for 16 and older. I was like, wait a minute, this is a 16 and older rating? Like,
sending them messages, right? But she was definitely that alpha female who was coming in because she felt like she had something to prove, right? So it makes you feel good because it's like she knows her worth. She ain't settling for the BS, right? But at the same time, she's not open and receptive to that whole, I want to build this relationship, right? I want to be an equal partner in a relationship. So she had a lot of depth. But yeah, definitely sexually, I feel like they putting her business all out in them Harlem streets. And we didn't get the same exposure from a lot of the other scenes.
Even the racial thing, her dating the white girl. Yeah. How they put that in there, and am I a sellout and pushing the agenda of interracial dating. showing the looks and whatnot. I mean, they definitely opened up her character to a lot. She was married to her best friend who was a man before. I mean, her character had a lot of development. Her character probably was way more developed than any of the other characters. Her backstory
That's
was
what I
more in depth.
mean. She had a lot of layers, a
Mm.
lot of them. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then Angie. So we'll end with the sofa friend.
Listen,
Let me tell you, Angie, like, what's our thoughts on Angie?
Yeah.
Well, I want to know this. Can you all tell me, what did you think about Angie dating this bisexual man?
I don't believe it.
I have a lot of thoughts on Angie. First of all, let me tell you, the minute Angie opened her mouth in the show, I rolled my eyes. So I said, "Oh, okay, this is what we're pushing, for this show." But I don't understand why it was the darkest woman that was the loudest, right? And then the loudest woman was defending racism. So that was interesting. I'm just like, well, it's not only that type of woman that talks about racism. Like, we come in all sizes, shapes, color. You know what I mean? So I was just like, what is this about? And then remember the scene. One of my friends actually brought this to my attention. Remember the scene where the white woman in the play Get Out, and
Yeah.
there were like all of these like microaggressions and like racism, and then she said something about being ghetto, and then Angie called her out on it. But it's just like, Angie, you kind of are ghetto, I thought that was just like very interesting, but it's like, you as a white woman can't say it, of course, but it was just very interesting, her character. And then the way she was talking, I felt like everything didn't have to be, I'm sucking this, and it was a lot for me. It was a lot.
It was. I was glad they did the Get Out scene with the white woman, because that was a Black production, and they were still bending over backwards for this white girl, right? So I'm glad they put that out there. That happens a lot because we still have the gatekeeper. She must have been somebody that they felt like they needed, the director needed to get what he needed out of the show. So that's one issue. But her dating the bisexual guy, I'm like, so the night I met my husband at this really big party, Old School Saturdays, you probably know about that, Madam President, Old School Saturdays in Atlanta, I met this guy who looked just like Prince. I mean, I kid you not. And we danced for hours. Like, he was a great dancer. I was having a ball. I assumed he was gay. That was an assumption. So me and him hung out like 2 other nights, and he tried to kiss me. And I was like, whoa. And I said, I thought you were gay. He was like, no, honey, I'm not gay. I said, so then it like turned, I really enjoyed spending time with him. Just like Prince, shorter than me, light skin, great dancer, everything. So then I said, look, can't we just be great friends? He said, I don't need no more friends. And I was like, well, shit. So he's not, so to my point, he had a lot of sexual energy, but I liked it from a distance, like from a I'm hanging with you kind of thing, but not to be with you, right? And I can't see being a heterosexual woman, if that's what Angie is. I don't know what she is, but I wouldn't be doing no dude that wants to be doing other dudes just for the sex. I don't know. Right. That ain't me though. That ain't me. I don't know about everybody else.
I feel like what TV does so often is try to constantly normalize like bad sexual behavior, right? I personally think that there needs to be sexual discipline. I don't give a damn what you identify as. There needs to be some sexual discipline, okay? You can't be crawling up, under, and humping everything that comes your way. And I feel like people try to subtly introduce you to just bad sexual habits.
Gateway drug. It's the gateway sex drug to make you say, maybe I should eat some booty hole. Maybe I should have sex with a bisexual. Maybe I should let this white woman roam around my house while I'm asleep. Are you out of your mind? In the world?
Eat your chicken, eat your broccoli and beef.
Eating my broccoli and beef. No.
Not to mention, it's just kind of like, now mind you how they was kind of, I'm just going to say this, I got to say it. Back in the day, HIV was a gay disease, right? Fast forward now, HIV is a heterosexual disease. I'm gonna tell you about BET. BET constantly heightens sex, and then on the commercials they give you the HIV drug. Now, come on now. I'm going to need y'all to be making some conscious decisions on what they keep showing you. They're giving you constant sex. Then they hit you with the HIV drug on the next media trailer. So I feel like no, and I'm sorry, because I know people always say that sexual discipline is important. I don't care what you identify as. If you sleeping around with men, don't be talking about the winter time. I'm gonna be sleeping around with women, and then the women talking about, oh, I'm gonna sleep with him. I'm gonna let him sleep with me in the winter time, and he can have men in the summer. What in the hell is wrong with y'all?
It's
a hard hell no. Okay, and you ain't gotta. It don't matter if you gay, straight, bi, or whatever. And this is what I'm talking about right here. How they try to make you like being gay is just this sexual thing,
right?
And that's my problem with being gay. It's not. Was never just about being. This is what the thing about was being gay. It's like everybody, oh, you nasty, oh, you sexual, you know. And it's like I got a friend. She told me about when she was gay. She is gay, and she told me like she was a virgin until she was about 24 years old. Mind you. According to BT, you just gay, you just start sleeping with folks all the time. You know what I'm saying?
In junior high school.
We have to stop that. We have to completely stop like this notion that there's no sexual discipline with sexual. I don't care what you identify as. You need to have some discipline about yourself sexually whatsoever.
Yes, 100%.
I think it's a desensitization. I think that they're trying to desensitize you to it. Make you normalize it. It's okay. One, it's okay. Normalize it, desensitize it, and two, do you want to try it?
Right.
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 So you should try it. You
dual
should
agenda.
try it.
Yeah. So now you've done it. You've tried it. You really can't judge, or you've done it. You've tried it. Help other people to be okay with it. And we have to be cognitive of that. And again, the rating on this was 16. That blew my mind. Like you want 16-year-olds to watch this content. This content is is grown for some 18-year-olds. I'm 45, and then some of the stuff I was like, okay. So there's that, right? So last question. We're gonna close with this. Reboots. Sex and the City is getting a reboot. Will and Grace just did a reboot. I think I forgot something else that they just rebooted. Where's the Black reboots at? How come we don't got a reboot of Girlfriends yet? How come we don't got a reboot of A Different World? Or it's been coming for years. Every other day they're doing a reboot of something that's not Black people. When are we gonna get our reboots on the TV screen?
The agenda is real. The gatekeepers, those shows were positivity. And the gatekeepers, I don't think they want us to have Black community positivity. I just think that
they don't make them money.
It doesn't. I think it could.
Living Single, yeah, Lorraine. When are we gonna get a reboot of Living Single?
Yes.
Friends just did a reunion. Like,
yeah.
You know what? People don't want to talk about the truth. Our people, our Black people who did these shows and kind of paved the way for us too in this sitcom arena, they did not get treated well. They did not get paid well. And guess what? And kind of sometimes them even reliving these moments, being rebooted, it don't really help them. And I want you to look at Will Smith, okay? When you look at whatever the show was, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, think of all the principal cast, the main cast, and who do you see on TV the most? Will Smith. One. We're taking one. All the time, we're taking one. Do you know it is required in order to really navigate this industry? This is a beast. Greed and all of that stuff cannot be a part of you if you're trying to truly attack a beast. Will Smith has to say, yeah, I need Jeffrey, I need Alonzo. Can you get them in this as well? Nobody want to take nobody with them. Everybody for themselves all the time.
And when they finally do make it and can pull that person along, they're just not. I remember when Will Smith did a movie. Oh, I can't remember. He was dating this one Hispanic girl. She was
Hitch.
very popular.
Hitch?
They were Hitch. I think it was
Hitch.
Hitch. And he had a lot of creative license in that movie. And he was interviewed, and he was on a Black interview platform. They asked him why wasn't it a Black woman, and he said, "America doesn't want to see Black love." That's what he said specifically. And this was like Hitch was at 10. I don't know. It was a long time ago, 10 years ago ish. But I'm like, I don't care. They're gonna watch. You think they're not watching us? They want to be us. They are watching us.
Mm-hmm.
So all you have to do, when he was in that show, even years before with Regina King, when she was his wife and he was like the spy, they thought he was a spy, or, you know, he was climbing on the building. What was that movie? Oh my God. Anyway, the government was trying to like set him up for something because he had a chip for something in his bag.
Enemy of the State?
Enemy of the State. And it was Regina King was his wife in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a couple like kissy scenes, and that was even 10 years before that comment he made. So those are lies. These are lies we tell ourselves, and then we keep perpetuating the lie by making up this stuff. When you have creative license, use your powers for good, not evil. That's all I can say. That is the B1 community. When you're given something, each one teach one, you have to bring people up, and you got to give them the straight talk, and you got to help them get to where you are. It's not a competition. It's not pie. We're not going to run out of pie. It's endless amounts of money. It's endless amounts of opportunity. And we need to start becoming the gatekeepers of that opportunity.
And can
Go ahead.
I just want to correct myself, because I said that it's not going to make them money if they show this Black love and Black empowerment. It will make them money, because the people like us, we will support, right? And then, you know, other people will support. But they don't keep the power if they show Black love and empowerment, because they understand how powerful what you show on TV and movies. They understand how powerful that is, especially for our youth. So they can't have our Black youth running around with Black love and building legacy. They can't have that, because they know how powerful we are. So it's like, whoa, we can't have that, because then they're going to take over, and they don't want that. So I just wanted to correct myself with saying that.
So the last 2 points I'll end with is, to sum up what all of you guys have just recently said, is it's two things. One is the agenda. It goes against the agenda. If we show Black love, and we show powerful and empowered Black men and Black women together, that builds wealth, that creates 2-parent households, that brings the Cosby Show, the Huxtables out of the TV screen and brings it to America, that it will give people hope, that will put children in HBCUs and colleges. Now they're getting educated. Now they're competitive. So we definitely don't want to do that. That's one piece of it. And then 2, the whole thing with desensitizing, the same way that they are pushing the agenda of desensitizing against these things, they could desensitize the rest of the world with not, I don't know if it's desensitized, but they could prepare and help people deal with and see more regularly Black love. Like, why keep it off the screen? Like, you're pushing this, you're pushing us to see this so that we will become more desensitized to that. Why wouldn't you want the rest of the world to be more desensitized to what Black love looks like? So if we're saying the world's not ready for a Black man and a Black woman on the screen, get them ready.
Right.
Get them ready. Yeah. Because y'all is set to become the majority minority pretty soon. I'm sorry, we are set to become the majority minority, and they are set to become the minority majority. So y'all better get ready and be getting prepared to see this, because you won't be holding the cards very long.
Yeah.
All right. With that being said, great conversation today. I didn't give you a chance to reset the room today, because it was great.
There's one part that we did miss that people are furious about. It was the barbershop scene.
So, we didn't even talk about the barbershop. Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about that. What was your take on the barbershop?
So what happened in the barbershop? So Ty, she was going to get her hair cut. She had a photo shoot the next day, and then one of the barbers, he comes in being very disrespectful, very vulgar, saying, "I did this to this woman, or to this hoe," or whatever he was calling her. Right? I skeeted on her, and I did, and it's just like, come on, really? So she told her barber, you know, are you going to check him? Like, this is unacceptable. And, oh, that's my aunts, cousins, baby, whatever, whatever he was saying. Like, I can't say anything. And he continued to be disrespectful. So she got up and left. My issue with that is how it was portraying the heterosexual black male. This is how black men talk.
Toxic black male.
Exactly, the toxic black male. This is how they talk when they're amongst each other. That's why you have to be very careful with them, because they're dangerous and they don't respect you. And I don't know men that talk like that in the barbershop, right? Like,
I've never been to a barbershop where they talk like that.
Right. I've been to barbershops. Lene, I know, you have
I have a son. I've been taking my son to the barber for 18 years. And mind you, he's been going to the same barber since he was 6, mind you. But when I travel, we have to go into barbershop, and I've never been into a barbershop and been disrespected or heard conversations like that before.
Right.
So why was that necessary?
In the hood.
What'd you say, Madam President?
I say y'all must ain't been to no barbershops in the hood.
I've been to barbershops in the hood. I mean, they grimy, but they're not like that disrespectful.
Have you been disrespected in a barbershop, Madam President? Like, have you felt disrespected?
Well, I don't know if I internalized the conversation as much as I've had to ignore, what was being discussed. But I mean, because I was also about to highlight how it was very intimate in this scene. It wasn't like a lot of people in there. It was kind of like the barbers, and then it was her. She was like the predominant client. Like, I think probably the only client, and I think whoever else was sitting in the seat was a guy. So I feel like it was like a space where they were pretty much a norm for them. Of course, I don't condone how they were speaking, because I feel like, but here's the thing. Malcolm said the most disrespected person in the world is the black woman. And I feel like this constantly makes that to be a fact. And when people act like this around black women and don't pretty much respect our presence or, our mind or anything. I feel like it happens though, y'all.
Question to you specifically, and or whoever wants to answer it, but specifically for you. He's in the show, his commentary was presented in a manner as if to say he didn't feel she was a woman due to her masculinity.
Yes.
So do you think or feel that he spoke that way in front of her specifically because of that demeanor? And what I mean by that, if a more feminine woman had been sitting there, would he have still taken that tone in the conversation?
I think you made a perfect pretty much analysis of exactly what happened, that it was exactly what happened. And I believe that it's common that way. When men see masculine women, they automatically think man, and it's clear that she's a woman. And sometimes the idea is pretty much like, oh, she ain't nobody, she's ignored. So that's common, yes. And I believe that that's why they highlighted that way, because that is absolutely the truth. Like, when men see masculine women, they don't think she needs protection. They don't think that they have to, be on a better behavior or respect her. They feel like, oh, she want to be a nigga, basically. Oh, she want to be a nigga. Yeah. So, shit, if she wanted the boys, she wanted the boys, and I'm treated like one. And that's not right, because let me tell you that I can't even go into that, but it's a woman. And I was about to say shit today. You gotta ask, but what do you identify as? But if in our old school, it's a woman.
A woman is a woman.
Yeah. But I don't like that they portrayed that another black man wouldn't check him, right? So I just feel like,
right, that's the part I didn't like. Yeah, he's asking him to step in, and he like, I can't. And it's not your boss,
right? I don't see that. At least for me, where I am, I don't see that in the black community. What I see is, if I'm a woman or anybody, if I feel uncomfortable in a space, in your space, I don't know if he was the owner or what. I think he was the owner. I don't think
he was. The guy that was talking crap wasn't the owner.
No. The guy that was cutting her hair, I think he was like the owner or the manager or whatever. If I'm in your space, regardless of who I am, if I say to a black man, hey, I feel uncomfortable, he's going to say something. Yo, tone that down. Don't do that. All right, come on, chill. You know what I mean? And I don't feel that was portrayed in the show. And I didn't like that, because we already had the black dude with his legs in the air We already had, you know, all of these other issues where, you know, you're not showing healthy love and, you know, you're showing whatever. And then here we are in a space with all of these Black heterosexual males, and they're disrespecting Black women and not checking each other. I don't feel like that's an accurate depiction of our Black men in the community.
Yeah. And then I want to add one more layer to this, and this is going to probably get me ate up, and we don't have time to go into depth. But Ty was a hoe. Okay, she was like hoeing, and I'm like, why are you so mad about what they talking? He said he took this girl home. He skeeted all over her. He said something else to that effect. And I'm flashing back to a club scene where she met somebody on the dance floor, took her home, did the down and dirtily, right? So why are we offended, right? And I'm not saying you can't have stuff behind closed doors and in public you feel a certain way, but I am saying the description he gave is almost what she did in a scene that they made us privy to. So why are you mad? Why are you mad? Why are you offended enough to be walking around New York City looking a hot mess with your head half done? You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
My 2 cents.
Ooh, a great conversation today. Sister Shani says y'all have really not been in many barbershops. Wow. So
that's why I wanted to honor Madam President. I'm like, well, if you've seen that, if you've seen that, cool. I haven't seen that, but
I haven't.
I'm
gonna go with what JCJ says. I feel like it's disingenuous to say those conversations don't happen. I think it's mostly out of the earshot of women. And so I will agree with you. And again, what we're saying is I haven't been privy to it, right? Mm-hmm. So again, when it's all men in the barbershop, I can imagine what it said, right? When it's all men in the barbershop, that is a safe space for men, and the conversation probably runs the rampant from here to there. Mm-hmm. Again, what we said was I've never been privy to that conversation, meaning no one has ever disrespected me in that manner where they would have that conversation in front of me. Does it happen? I bet it does, but it has never happened in front of me. Is what we're saying. The men in the barbershop have been respectful and or have stepped up and or have not had those conversations in front of myself or my son when I'm there. Now, my son is 21 now, so I'm sure he'd be in the barbershop having a good old time having these conversations. But up to that point, it has not happened.
Yeah.
Okay. So, this is the Melanated Air Hour today, hour and a half. Okay. It's the Melanated Air hour and a half today. We do this every Tuesday and Thursday at 2:00 p.m. Eastern, where we take a subject matter, usually something relative to real life and or something that's happening in the news, and we talk about it from a melanin perspective and business usually, as we're all entrepreneurs, business coaches, career women, professionals, retirees coming up pretty soon, people who have left their job and started their businesses. And so we talk about things from a, professional perspective. We give our take, and we do this every Tuesday and Thursday, 2:00. I don't do this by myself. I am Lene Javette. I do this with Madam President at One Madam President. I do it with Keisha Ravino at We Inspire Brand and Teddy Ewing at The Real Teddy Talks. I forget who it was that asked us to share our online information. Ashton McFall. Ladies, will you please post your pages and links so we can follow you? Everybody's handle is on the screen. I know my handle is good on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. I believe the same with Madam President, Teddy, and Keisha. So you can use our names or our handles to follow us and subscribe at any of the social media platforms, as well as the Melanated Air. So you can also look for Melanated Air on any of those social media platforms. Thank you, Dual. I see Dual putting all of the links in down there. Thank you, Dual.
Thank you.
So yes, you can check us out on any of the platforms. All the handles are right there. We thank you guys so much for tuning in and hanging out with us today for the Melanated Air Hour as we dissect the show Harlem and look at it from a melanated perspective. Please make sure you come back. Today's only Tuesday, so make sure you come back on Thursday. We'll have a different conversation. Our homegirl Faye will be with us on Thursday. And like we do every week, we want you to continue to be blessed, to stay Black, and to be one. We'll talk to you guys until Thursday.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.